Let's have a conversation.
Thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I'm sure I'll see you at one of these events again
all
soon.
time. We got Mark with the Mindful Reality podcast, who I've been a guest on, and it was a blast.
Thank you for having me, honestly, and I cannot wait to do it again. We're going to do this again in the future. I just know it.
What's happening, everybody? Good evening. Welcome to Mindful Reality TV from a mental health perspective. Good evening, Lin. As I've warned you in the community section, this one is going to be pretty short, but people were calling for me to be here online tonight, so I was like, let me just do a quick one just to get a live in. I watched the majority of Mimi's Instagram live that she did with Mama Fee, and I actually liked it quite a bit. There was nothing on the engagement piece because they did not read any comments, or at least they did not acknowledge that they read any comments. But just in terms of gameplay discussion that they had and different things that they revealed in that conversation, I thought it was pretty interesting. But my title was Mama Fee said that she respects, I won't say she respects. She said that Jag played the better game than Matt because he was able to manipulate people in the house better, the best. But she said that if Matt had made counter arguments to what Jag was saying, then a lot of them were willing to give Matt the game. I know this is neither here nor there. Jag already won the game, but I thought that it was interesting that she said it seemed like a lot of them were bitter on the way that Jag played the game, but they were just like, because of the fact that Matt really made no arguments in his favor in terms of ownership of game moves, that's the reason why they could not give it to him. And that sounds consistent to what Corey said, and that sounds consistent to what others have said. They were like, if Matt had said, I made a move on this, I brought you back in the house with the path to power, which is strange that they keep calling it path to power, because that's not what they were calling it to us, but that's what they've been calling it after the show stopped airing. So I think that this year is one year where the jury questions actually made a difference, because I heard plenty of people who were on the cast from last season say in their interviews that everybody already decided that Taylor was going to win if she was sitting in the final two chair. It seems like this season, everybody said, I want to vote for Matt. Everyone in the jury, I'm trying to say, said, I want to vote for Matt, but Matt has to give me a certain something in his answers, and he did not give that. So another thing that I find really interesting is, honestly, I liked Mimi on the show for my own personal reasons, and I think I've mentioned them before, but watching Mimi navigate through a Big Brother environment where she seemingly didn't like being there and arguably didn't seem to even really like most of her cast that was there with her, just watching her navigate through that reminded me of how I am in work scenarios where I feel that same kind of feeling that she had. The whole storage room rant, it looks like something that I would do, honestly. But off season, in terms of off season content, I have watched a lot of people's off season content, and hers is up there for this cast. I don't know who I would say is the most interesting that I've seen in the off season. It might just be her. And she was one of the least engaged in the house. So I was thinking to myself, if this Mimi was in the house, she might have gone further. But yeah, it was really interesting. And then she was asking Mama Fee about the whole thing with the Final Four. She was asking about, you know, Jag, Matt, and Bowie and how it was like being with them at the end. And she spoke about from the time that it was the final five, she felt a way about the fact that they were isolating herself and Cirie. They were not even trying to talk to them. They were not interested in that, in talking to them. And then she talked about when she was in the Final Four. She said that it got to a point in the Final Four that she was like, I would rather go home than sit in the house with these people for another week or whatever it would have been, less than a week. I think she said she got out on day 96, which would make sense. That was a Sunday eviction, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yep. She said she got out on day 96, and she said she got to the point where she would rather have been out of the house than to sit in the house with them for an extra 4 days because of how isolated they made her feel. Then she spoke about Cameron. She spoke about argument that she had with Cameron in the jury segment that was not shown. She spoke about how she was arguing with Cirie during the jury segment. And Corey jumped to her defense. Hi, Melanie. Yeah, so this cast, I think a lot of them are back home. Almost all of them are back home at this point. And I said this throughout the season that pairs, just like how you saw in the house, 2 people, 3 people like each other. But I think that this is not going to be that type of tight-knit, connected cast. I mean, I know that all casts have their different issues, but you could see with this particular cast that it just wasn't that. And Felicia said, I'm not mad at people lying, cheating, and stealing to win the game. But she was saying that it's the same thing that I was kind of saying. She said, there's personal lies and there's game lies. And I always feel that way. I always feel that there's personal lies and there's game lies. She referenced people saying or believing that Matt is dumb. I think she referenced people saying that Matt is dumb. I don't know if she was saying that people literally said that or if they were alluding to it, but she was saying, I'm not Matt, but I felt a personal way about that. Actually, I believe Zingbot made a joke about him being dumb. And when I did my recap of the Zingbot episode, I was like, of all things, that was the worst thing to say to somebody with an actual physical disability. I was not liking that. But yeah, everything that I have seen from this cast when it comes to the Matt decision is all kind of saying the same thing. A lot of them did not feel like they wanted Jag to win, but they wanted to hear Matt give his argument and his reasons as to why he thinks he should be the winner of Big Brother, walking home with that $750K. There was one other thing. Oh, yeah. She said that she didn't like Jag's final speech. She said that she thought that Jag's final speech was arrogant and that it was not consistent with the way that he was talking the whole time. But I think they, in a sense, defaulted it to him because Matt did not make a counter saying that it's a partnership and saying me and Jag did this together. And then Jag says, I did this, I did that. This is my reasons why. All my steps were ordered. All y'all blood is on my hands. Matt only had to make a half decent argument, I believe, to take this thing home. And he was not able to do that, or I don't know if he was not able to do it, but he clearly did not come in with a game plan to do that. So that's why that went how it went. So if you guys have Instagram, you can actually go and look at this entire conversation that they had. It's all up there. Mimi posted it. I told y'all this would be a quick one. And I'm actually hopping off. So I hope everybody has an amazing night. And we will talk soon.
So you literally were one of my very first followers. And then when you followed me and I, followed back, I was like, this dude is cool. Like,
if they say talk to your manager, you just say, you know what, talk to the hand. You don't need to be on my podcast. But yeah, dude. Yeah, you do a great job.
Thank you. I always get a kick out of talking with you on Patreon. You have a really good, view on everything.
That wasn't planned.
You know what? But I like this Canadian.
Well,
I like this one.